In One Piece, power is usually loud. Islands shatter. Devil fruits awaken, forms grow larger, louder, stranger. But Shanks? Shanks is quiet. No devil fruit, no transformations, no monstrous silhouette blotting out the sky. And yet, when red-haired Shanks steps onto the stage, the strongest characters in the world hesitate. Admirals freeze. Yonko listen. The future itself becomes unclear. This is not coincidence, this is design. Because Shanks isn't just strong, he is refined to a terrifying degree. This is the true power level of red-haired Shanks, the Emperor built on pure Haki. Shanks represents a terrifying idea in One Piece, that Haki alone, when taken to its absolute extreme, can rival any devil fruit and surpass most of them. He has complete mastery over observation Haki, armament Haki, Conqueror's Haki. But mastery isn't what makes Shanks dangerous. Evolution is. Where others stack power, Shanks condenses it. Where others overwhelm, Shanks decides. His strength isn't explosive, it's inevitable. If you're enjoying the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and become a Straw Hat member. Now back to the video. Observation Haki, the man who controls the future. Katakuri could see seconds ahead. Luffy learned to bend that ability in combat. Shanks goes further. His observation Haki is canonically superior to both Katakuri and current Luffy. And the reason is chilling. Shanks doesn't just see the future, he controls whether the future can be seen at all. Observation killing. This advanced Conqueror-infused technique allows Shanks to erase his presence from observation Haki. To future sight users, his intent vanishes. His movements cannot be predicted, his next action does not exist until it happens. Against Shanks, future sight collapses. This means even the most elite fighters are forced into a raw, instinctual battle against a man who has lived his entire life in combat. And that is a losing scenario. Armament Haki, the edge you never see. Shanks's armament Haki is not flashy. It doesn't coat entire battlefields. It doesn't turn him into a walking fortress. Instead, it sharpens his blade beyond reason. Every swing is precise, every strike is lethal. When layered with Conqueror's coating, Shanks's attacks detonate without direct contact, producing devastating internal damage. This is the same style once used by Gold D. Roger. Not brute force, finality. Conqueror's Haki, a king who damages reality. Shanks's Conqueror's Haki is legendary, even among legends. When he stepped aboard Whitebeard's ship, dozens of hardened New World pirates collapsed instantly. These weren't rookies, these were veterans. And it wasn't just the crew. The ship itself cracked. A vessel built to survive the New World was damaged by nothing but Shanks's presence. No swing, no attack, just willpower, paralyzing an admiral. At Wano, Shanks demonstrated something never seen before. From miles away, his Conqueror's Haki paralyzed Admiral Greenbull, a Logia, a top-tier marine, a man confident enough to challenge the aftermath of 2 Yonko. Greenbull didn't just retreat, his body reacted before his mind could. That's what happens when willpower collides, and only one side truly belongs at the top. Advanced Conquerors, bypassing regeneration. Shanks possesses an advanced form of Conqueror's Haki, capable of bypassing supernatural regeneration, including the abilities of the Holy Knights. This suggests something terrifying. Shanks's Haki doesn't just damage flesh, it overwhelms the will that allows the body to heal. Against him, regeneration becomes meaningless. No reset, no second chance. The one shot of a 3 billion berry pirate, Eustace Kid. 3 billion berries, awakened devil fruit, stronger than ever after surviving Big Mom. Big Mom herself, even at her peak, could not knock Kid unconscious. Shanks did. One move. Kid was charging his awakened attack. He was not off guard, he was not weakened. Shanks saw the future. Shanks erased himself from perception. Shanks struck. Divine Departure, the same technique once used by Gold D. Roger. No other Roger pirate ever copied it, only Shanks. Because this wasn't just a move, it was an inheritance, swordsmanship. The rival of Mihawk, Shanks was once the rival of Dracul Mihawk, the strongest swordsman in the world, the only man in hundreds of years to awaken a black blade. Their duels were legendary, so dangerous they were stopped before the world could be rewritten. Shanks, losing his arm, did not weaken him. It refined him. His style shifted closer to Roger's. Fewer movements, more inevitability. The flaming sword, film red. In film red, Shanks revealed something extraordinary. His sword, Griffin, ignited in flame, not through a devil fruit, but through sheer Haki output. This suggests Shanks can manifest elemental force through Haki alone, burning through defenses, while layering Conqueror's dominance into every strike, and that leads to a terrifying possibility. What if Griffin isn't just a sword? Like his brother Shamrock, Griffin may be a mythical Zoan, dormant, restrained, or bound by Shanks's will, and if that's true, then Shanks has chosen not to rely on it, defeating Loki, the strongest giant. 6 years ago, Shanks faced a monster the world never measured correctly. Loki was already a legend. The warrior who defeated an emu-powered Harold. A fighter many believe stood above even Dommy reverse rocks in raw strength. And Loki did not stagnate. For 8 years after that battle, he refined everything. His devil fruit pushed toward awakening. Ragnir became an extension of his will. By the time Shanks met him, Loki was complete. The clash shook the island apart. Conqueror's Haki split the sky, waves turning to walls, stone turning to dust. For the first time in years, Shanks was driven to the edge. Observation slipped, armament fractured. Then, in that extreme moment, Shanks evolved. His Haki bloomed, compressed, sharpened beyond pressure. His Conqueror's Haki evolved to the level that allows him to keep up with Loki. One final strike ended it. When the battle was over, the island was broken, and Loki was defeated. The world never learned the truth, but 6 years ago, Shanks defeated the strongest giant alive. This is just speculation since we don't know the full context of their encounter, but it is implied that Shanks defeated Loki in a 1v1, and Loki does see Shanks as a great pirate. Potential named attacks, Shanks's arsenal, divine departure, crimson verdict, an evolved version of Roger's technique, a Conqueror-coated slash that detonates inside the enemy's will before the blade connects, King's silence, a massive observation-killing burst that erases Shanks from perception, forcing enemies to fight blind, Scarlet Dominion, a full-output Conqueror's release that fractures terrain, weapons, and willpower simultaneously, Flame of the Red King, a Haki-ignited sword technique combining fire, armament, and Conqueror's coating to burn through defenses and regeneration, Griffin's final wing, a lightning-fast strike meant to end battles instantly, leaving devastation without prolonged conflict. Potential future battles: Shanks versus Marshal D. Teach, Blackbeard, the unavoidable reckoning. This isn't a maybe. This is destiny with teeth. Shanks already carries the scar. Teach is the only pirate Shanks openly fears, and Blackbeard is the embodiment of everything Shanks opposes, why it happens. Shanks warned Whitebeard about Teach long before anyone else. Teach scarred Shanks without a devil fruit. Blackbeard's rise directly threatens the balance Shanks protects. This fight is ugly, strategic, and ruthless. Shanks counters devil fruits with Conqueror's Haki suppression. Blackbeard negates Haki precision with chaos and darkness. No grand speeches, no mercy. Just survival. Possible outcome. Shanks wins but dies from accumulated wounds. Or Shanks loses, cementing Blackbeard as the final pirate villain. Either way, this battle reshapes the world. Shanks versus Monkey D. Luffy. The fight that isn't about winning. This is the emotional climax. Not enemies, not rivals. Pirate. King tests Pirate King. Shanks promised to meet Luffy as a great pirate. Shanks is the gatekeeper of the final era. Luffy must surpass him to move forward. Smiles at first, then silence. Then Conqueror's Haki floods the sea. Gear 5, Luffy versus Prime Shanks is freedom versus control. Joy versus restraint. Outcome, Luffy wins. Not by overpowering Shanks, but by proving he surpassed his shadow. Shanks versus Shamrock, blood versus blood. In the future, the red hair and the holy blade will finally cross. Shanks, the emperor who embodies freedom, and Shamrock, the sword of divine order. When they meet, the sky will split before their blades even touch. Conqueror's Haki will clash like rival eras colliding. This will not be a battle of strength alone, but of ideals, bloodline, and fate. One fights for a world without gods, the other fights to preserve them. And when Shanks and Shamrock finally draw their swords, the future itself will be forced to choose a side. Shanks versus Garling. Son versus father. In the future, fate drags two legends back to the same battlefield. Shanks, the red-haired emperor, stands with calm resolve, his presence warping the air. Across from him rises Figureland Garling, no longer just a judge, but a Gorosei. His body twists into a yokai form, divine and monstrous, authority made flesh. Black lightning coils around him as the will of the world itself takes shape. When their Haki collide, the sky fractures. Red meets abyssal gold. Freedom crashes into judgment. This is not just a duel, it is a verdict on the era. When Shanks and Garling finally clash, only one future survives. Shanks versus Emu, indirect or direct. The king who stands before the throne. Even if Shanks never fights Emu directly, he will defy them, blocking ancient weapons, disrupting the final war, forcing Emu to act. If they clash, Shanks loses, but buys the future with his life. A king falling so the sun can rise. Shanks is not the strongest because he destroys the most. He is the strongest because he controls everything. The battlefield, the future, the will to stand. When Shanks draws his sword, the fight has already ended, not by fate, but by the will of a king who learned directly from the Pirate King himself. And when Shanks finally goes all out, the world will realize too late. He was never just an emperor, he was the final wall. Be sure to subscribe to the channel to become a Straw Hat member. Comment your thoughts and suggestions, and I'll see you in the next video.